Joy Taylor is joining me on a Friday. Week has flown by. I saw the weather report around the country this morning. Eric Mangini's in a snowstorm, worst in 10 years in Cleveland. I'm very fortunate to be living here.
Yeah, I know. My sister posted a little Instagram story of the snow in Pittsburgh. It's crazy.
It is nuts right now.
I mean, I used to grow up in that, and now I'm like, I can't do that every day.
Yeah, I met a friend last night of somebody I hadn't seen in 20 years, and we were talking about that. As you get older, you get more weather cranky.
Oh, yeah.
Just when you're a kid, you don't even care. You don't college. I don't even remember it now.
You never thought about it. I know. Every time I would call my grandmother, rest in peace, she would love to talk about the weather. This is all she wanted to talk about. It's cold. It's warm. It's snowing. It's raining.
Well, let's start our show with this. We got a lot of football, but I do want to start with a basketball topic. So, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, James Harden didn't work, and Westbrook gets moved on. Now it's John Wall. Story out this morning, and we talked about this briefly yesterday. And now Harden wants to play with John Wall. He preferred him the entire time. And so now James Harden has run through two head coaches, a general manager, Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul. Has anybody considered that? In fact, the two best runs of James Harden's career, I don't think he's a one. I think he's a great scorer. The two best runs of his career, one was in the 2012 finals when he was a 3 to Westbrook and Harden. And then the other was a few years ago, Western Conference Finals, when Chris Paul essentially took over the team. Why are we – there has been nothing, no indication that James Harden is anything but a great scorer. And I like points, but I'm going to throw a couple things at you. In Wilt Chamberlain's highest 9 scoring seasons, 0 titles. In Michael Jordan's 3 highest scoring seasons, no titles. Just because you score doesn't make you a 1. James Harden has shown us no indication he wants to be a 1. Ones play defense. Ones have leadership skills. Ones elevate others. Ones get along with stars. It's not about points. I'll give you an example. Magic Johnson was a 1. His career average is 19 points a game. He was never the best scorer on his team. It was always Kareem. By the way, Bill Russell was a 1. He averaged 15.5 points a game. But it was his personality, his forcefulness, his willfulness, his defense, and elevating others. I'll give you another guy that's a 1, and this may confuse you. Dwayne Wade was a 1. IQ, alpha, leader, tough, respected. But not all 1s are equal. So when he played with Shaq, D. Wade had the self-awareness to step back, and they had 2 1s. And when he played with LeBron, D. Wade stepped back, had the self-awareness that he was the second best 1. Anthony Davis has never been a 1. Anthony Davis is the world's most talented 2. Being a 1 is availability. Anthony Davis is not always there. LeBron's always ready to play. It's availability. It's productivity. It's leadership. It's both ends. It's being verbal. James Harden is a scorer. That's it. By the way, loves scoring. But now he can't get along with Westbrook. He can't get with Chris Paul. It was Dwight Howard. It was the GM. It's 2 coaches. Now I want to play with John Wall. We do this all the time. We can, most valuable player we confuse with best stats. That's not what it's called. It's most valuable player. Most valuable player in the NBA for 20 years now almost has been LeBron James. It was always Michael Jordan in every year. He was the most valuable player, and he was the most valuable guy for the league, for a franchise, for the branding, for his team. He didn't play, they didn't win titles. He did play, they did win titles. But, I look around the NBA, and we think, points. Trae Young's going to score 1,000 million points in Atlanta. Does that mean he's a 1? No, it just means he's a talented scorer. And, I look at the 1s in my life. Magic was a 1. Bill Russell was a 1. D. Wade is a 1. Larry Bird was a 1. Michael was a 1. LeBron's a 1. But I'll tell you something that's happened in the NBA, and I think it's hard for general managers. The AAU-ization of basketball over the last 20 years. Everybody's friends with everybody. Everybody gets along with everybody. Everybody's got everybody's back. What you get is very few people who are kind of old school and willing to be hated. The late Kobe Bryant are going to kind of force their own way. Shaq, he'd move off teams. Shaq ran Shaq's business. The NBA didn't run Shaq. Shaq ran Shaq. Shaq was a one. He thought like a one. He played like a one. He was forceful like a one. He could score like a one. He could defend like a one. By the way, Kareem was a one. But then Kareem, when Magic came to town, realized this kid is more of an elevator of others and stepped aside. But I guess my point with Harden is, how many people has he got to run through before we acknowledge he's just the world's second best two?